January 24th, 2026. Let that date sit with you for a moment, because on this day, God didn't whisper, He declared. It's all planned. By the end of January, you'll understand why you had to go through what you went through. And you know, sometimes God doesn't move the mountains in front of us. He strengthens the climber inside us. This isn't just another date on a calendar. This is a checkpoint, a turning point, a divine reminder that your story is not spiraling, it's aligning. So if you've been fighting battles silently, if you've been praying prayers that felt unanswered, if you've been wondering when your moment will come, hear me clearly. You're not running late. You're not behind. You are exactly where you need to be for what God is about to unfold, because by the end of this month, clarity is coming, breakthrough is coming, and the plan you couldn't see is about to reveal the purpose you've been chasing to January 24th, 2026. A date that feels like any other at first glance. Yet if you pause, if you breathe for a moment, and actually step outside the rush of your thoughts, you'll notice something different about it. There are days in life that don't simply arrive on a calendar. They arrive in your spirit. They shake you in a way that doesn't make sense in the moment. They rise like a quiet tide from deep inside you, reminding you that you were never walking through this life alone. Today is one of those days, because today carries a message, and not a vague one, not a subtle one, but a clear and powerful declaration that God has already planned what you've been worrying about, what you've been fighting through, and what has felt unfinished, unclear, and unresolved. And He has marked the end of January as the moment where the pieces begin to align. But here's the thing. Trusting that message is not always easy. We often say we trust divine timing, but the truth is, when life gets overwhelming, when the timing feels off, when hopes seem delayed, our hearts tremble. There's something about waiting that stirs our deepest doubts. There's something about uncertainty that tries to convince us that we are forgotten. And there's something about walking forward without a map that makes us believe we are lost. Yet the message today is simple, powerful, and intentional. It's all planned, even the things you think fell apart, even the moments that made you question your worth, even the setbacks that seemed unfair, even the silence that made you wonder if God was listening at all. None of it is wasted. None of it is random. None of it is the end of your story. The hardest battles in life are not fought on the outside. They are fought within. They are fought in the heart, where fear and faith wrestle. They are fought in the mind, where doubt and hope collide. They are fought in the soul, where the question, why me, meets the whisper, trust me. And if you're honest, you've been carrying some questions. You've been walking with the weight of things no one else fully sees. You've been holding on to dreams that took longer than expected to, prayers that seemed unanswered, to seasons that stretched you thin. You've been waiting for clarity, for movement, for some kind of sign that everything wasn't collapsing. And maybe you've asked yourself why the breakthrough hasn't come, why the opportunity hasn't opened, why the healing hasn't arrived yet. But here is the truth you need to hear with absolute clarity. Delay is not denial. Delay is preparation. Delay is alignment. Delay is God moving things behind the scenes in ways you wouldn't even know to ask for, you see. There are moments in life when God's timing contradicts the timeline you set for yourself. There are moments when it seems like nothing is happening, when in reality, everything is happening, but in a realm you cannot see yet. Trusting God's timing means surrendering the need to understand every detail. It means believing that what feels like a pause is actually a part of the plan. It means realizing that God is not slow. He is strategic. He is not forgetting you. He is preparing you. He is not delaying the blessing. He is setting it in place so that when it arrives, it cannot be taken, shaken, or destroyed. Think about the moments in your life when you wanted something to happen immediately. Think about the times you were sure you were ready, only to look back later and realize you needed more time, more growth, more strength, more clarity. Think about how many times you begged for something that would have hurt you if you received it too soon. We often want the blessing without the building, the reward without the refinement, the promise without the process. But God doesn't operate in shortcuts. He operates in purpose. He operates in timing. He operates in the assurance that what He has planned for you will not require you to shrink, crumble, or compromise yourself to hold it. The end of January is not just a date. It is a divine checkpoint, a shift, a transition, a moment that has already been written into your story long before you became aware of it. And message spoken over this time is not uncertain. It is firm and intentional. It's all planned. Everything you are walking through right now is leading somewhere. Nothing you're facing is a detour. You haven't missed your moment. You haven't lost your chance. You haven't fallen behind. You are walking on a path that was designed specifically for you with timing that aligns with your destiny, not your impatience. There's a difference between human timing and divine timing. Human timing is rushed, pressured, and anxious. It's driven by comparison, by fear of missing out, by the feeling that you need to achieve everything now or risk being left behind. Divine timing flows differently. It is steady, purposeful, and unshakably intentional. Divine timing is not about when you think, you're ready. It's about when God knows the foundation beneath you is strong enough to carry what He's bringing into your life. Trusting that kind of timing requires courage. It requires surrender. It requires recognizing that you don't need to see the whole path to take the next step. Maybe you've been frustrated. Maybe you've been losing sleep over things you can't control. Maybe you've been trying to force answers, force clarity, force timing. But here's what you haven't realized yet. The pressure you've been feeling is not a sign of collapse, but a sign of preparation. Breakthrough is built under pressure. Clarity is formed in the quiet. Strength is developed in the waiting. And just because you cannot see movement doesn't mean God is not moving. Just because you cannot feel progress doesn't mean the pieces are not coming together. Just because your prayers weren't answered in your timing doesn't mean they won't be answered. In His, on January 24th, you are standing on the edge of something, not something chaotic, not something destructive, something aligned, something purposeful, something planned. And you may not see it fully yet, but deep inside you there's a shift, there's a knowing, there's a sense that something is changing, that something is preparing to break open, that something is unfolding in ways that will make you look back at this season and say, no, I understand why it took time. Because the truth is, what God is planning for the end of January isn't just an outcome. It's a revelation. It's clarity that lights up everything that felt confusing before. It's the moment where scattered pieces come together. It's the moment where the silence turns into understanding. Trusting God's timing requires faith that doesn't rely on sight. It requires believing that even the detours were directions. Even the losses were lessons. Even the delays were alignments. Imagine if everything you prayed for arrived instantly. Imagine if every door opened the moment you knocked. Imagine if every dream unfolded without resistance. You wouldn't grow. You wouldn't deepen. You wouldn't develop the resilience you need for what's coming next. The process isn't meant to punish you. It's meant to prepare you. And preparation takes time. Preparation stretches you. Preparation strengthens your character, your discipline, your perspective. Preparation transforms you into someone who can handle the blessing you once asked for. And maybe you've been battling loneliness. Maybe you've been waking up each day with thoughts that weigh heavily on your chest. Maybe you've been wondering why everyone else seems to be moving forward while you feel stuck in place. But here is something you need to understand. What looks like stillness on the surface is often movement beneath. Just like a seed buried underground, there is development happening in silence. There is growth you cannot see yet. There is transformation taking place even when everything looks unchanged. That is how God works. Quietly, precisely, perfectly. January 24th stands as a reminder that your story is not stagnant. You are not forgotten. The plan has not fallen apart. And the timeline has not been derailed. You are positioned exactly where you need to be so that when the end of January arrives, you will recognize the significance of where you've been and where you're going. Every moment that felt confusing, every prayer that felt unanswered, every struggle that felt overwhelming, all of it is part of a plan that is unfolding with incredible precision. You don't need to rush it. You don't need to control it. You only need to trust it. Trusting God's timing means walking even when you cannot see the destination. It means believing that every step you take, even the shaky ones, are guided. It means understanding that faith is not about receiving immediate answers. It is about holding on even when the answers are delayed. It is about standing firm when your emotions want to collapse. It is about remembering that God's plan for you is bigger than the timing you imagined. And when the end of January arrives, the clarity will not feel accidental. It will feel intentional. It will feel like alignment. It will feel like everything finally making sense. Trust the timing, trust the preparation, trust the message spoken over this moment. Because January 24th is not just another day. It is the beginning of the unfolding. It is the quiet before the shift. It is the confirmation everything you have been walking through has purpose, direction, and divine intention. It's all planned. Even the parts you don't understand yet, even the chapters that felt unfinished, even the moments that made you doubt. You are walking into a month that has already been prepared for you with precision, with purpose, with promise, with alignment, and with breakthrough that has been waiting for the right time to reveal itself. There are moments in life when delays feel like personal attacks, as if the universe is pushing everything you want just one step further away. Every time you reach for it, you try your best. You put in the effort. You make the sacrifices. You pray. You hope. You work. And somehow things still take longer than you expected. It's in those times that frustration builds, doubt creeps in, and the story you're living feels out of sync with the one you imagined. But what if the delay isn't a pause in your purpose, but a path to it? What if the very moments that made you question everything are actually shaping the destiny you've been praying for? What if the delay is the bridge, not the barrier? Delays feel like punishment when you don't understand their purpose. They feel unfair, heavy, and isolating. You watch other people move forward, reach milestones, achieve goals, and you're left wondering why your progress feels slower. You wonder if you're doing something wrong, if you missed a sign, if you should have taken a different route, if maybe you're not meant for what you desire. But destiny doesn't unfold at the speed of your hopes. It unfolds at the speed of your becoming. There are seasons where the delay is not blocking you from your future. It's building you for it. There are seasons where what you call waiting is actually preparation disguised as stillness. There are seasons where every day that feels wasted is actually a day that strengthens the foundation beneath you. When you think about destiny, you often imagine arrival. You imagine the breakthrough, the opportunity, the answered prayer, the open door, the moment where everything finally clicks. But destiny isn't built in moments of arrival. It's built in moments of endurance. It's built in the quiet seasons where you keep going even when nothing seems to move. It's built in the nights where you feel unseen and unheard, yet you choose to believe something better is coming. It's built in the patience you never wanted to develop, the strength you never asked for, the resilience you never expected to need. Destiny is not a single moment that appears out of nowhere. It's the accumulation of every moment that tried to break you but couldn't. Delays force you to develop qualities you would never choose voluntarily: patience, trust, discipline, emotional endurance, clarity, self-awareness. These qualities are uncomfortable to learn, but they become the very tools that sustain your future. If everything came instantly, you wouldn't value it. If everything arrived effortlessly, you wouldn't grow. If every door opened the moment you knocked, you wouldn't develop the depth needed to carry what's on the other side. Delays feel inconvenient, but they're strategic. They carve out the parts of you that need to be reshaped. They strip away the pieces that would sabotage the blessing. They dismantle the fears, insecurities, and doubts that would make you run from what's meant for you. Sometimes what you call delay is actually protection. You think something hasn't happened yet because you're not enough, because you're not ready, because something's wrong. But you never consider that maybe what you wanted wasn't ready for you. Maybe the opportunity needed restructuring. Maybe the people involved needed growth. Maybe the environment needed shifting. Maybe the timing you prayed for was too early for the purpose attached to it. Sometimes God delays something not to hurt you, but to refine the space that will hold your blessing. You focus on what's not happening, unaware that if it happened any sooner, it would collapse under the weight of misalignment. Destiny requires more than desire. it requires development. You can't receive something you're not equipped to hold. Think about how many people rush into opportunities they cannot sustain. Think about how many people step into roles they weren't built for. Think about how many people receive blessings they haven't been mentally, emotionally, or spiritually prepared to manage. Success without foundation is fragile. Blessings without growth become burdens. Open doors without preparation become closed paths. Delays are not there to frustrate you. They are there to fortify you. There are moments when waiting feels like a dead end. But it's actually a direction. When everything slows down, when everything stalls, when everything gets quiet, that is often the moment when destiny is doing its deepest work, not the loud work, not the visible work, but the silent internal work that reshapes who you are from the inside out. You don't notice the change at first because slow transformation rarely announces itself. One day you're frustrated and restless, and the next day you start realizing that the very things that used to break, you don't hold the same power anymore. You start seeing that what you thought was falling apart was actually falling into place. You start recognizing that the delay sharpened your discernment, strengthened your spirit, and increased your capacity. If you received what you wanted at the wrong time, you might not have recognized its value. You might not have been able to sustain it. You might have mishandled it out of fear or insecurity. Delays teach you how to appreciate what you once took for granted. They teach you how to handle pressure without collapsing. They teach you how to stay grounded when things finally accelerate. They teach you how to navigate seasons of abundance without losing yourself. You don't realize it now, but the delay is shaping you into someone who will thrive in the future you're walking toward. Transformation happens most powerfully in the dark. Think about a seed planted in the soil. It spends most of its time hidden, buried, unseen. If someone didn't know the process, they would assume nothing was happening in that darkness. They would think it's stuck, stagnant, lifeless. But in reality, the darkness is where the seed breaks open, where it begins to grow. Roots, where it develops the strength it needs to push upward. If the seed were exposed too soon, it would die. It needs time beneath the surface. It needs the pressure of the soil. It needs the silence. And so do you. Your delays are not burying you. They are planting you. They are creating depth within you. They are developing roots that will hold you firmly when you rise. Sometimes a delay isn't a lack of progress, it's hidden progress. It's progress that's not visible yet, but deeply real. It's progress that shows up later as wisdom, as maturity, as discernment, as emotional strength, as clarity. Delays build the internal version of you that destiny requires. Without that internal version, the external blessing would be meaningless. The version of you that stands on the other side of your breakthrough cannot exist without the version of you that was shaped in the waiting. You're becoming someone stronger, wiser, clearer, more intentional, more grounded. And you don't even notice how much you're changing, because change built in the waiting feels subtle. But subtle change becomes powerful transformation over time. Think about the moments when you felt like your life had stopped moving. Think about the seasons when you questioned your purpose. Think about the days when your prayers sounded repetitive and unanswered. Now think about how those same seasons taught you things you didn't know you needed. They taught you how to rely on faith rather than fear. They taught you how to keep going even when nothing made sense. They taught you how to build consistency without validation. They taught you how to find peace even in uncertainty. They taught you how to adapt, how to grow, how to rise again and again. Those lessons were not random. They were shaping your destiny. What you call delay, heaven calls alignment. Sometimes things have to slow down so they can line up. If everything moved at the pace you wanted, you might rush past what was meant for you. You might choose opportunities that were glitter, but not gold. You might settle for something temporary rather than something destined. Delays redirect you when you're headed towards something too small for your calling. Delays reposition you when you've attached yourself to people or environments that cannot support your future. Delays protect you from versions of success that would have drained you. Instead of elevating you, you will reach a moment in your life when you look back at the delay and realize it wasn't a block, it was a blessing. You'll realize the timing worked out better than what you prayed for. You'll realize that the right opportunity was worth the wait. You'll realize that the clarity that eventually arrived couldn't have come any sooner. You'll see how the delay built the courage you needed to walk into your destiny boldly. You'll notice how the delay revealed who was truly for you and who was holding you back. You'll realize that some things had to take time because destiny is too more to be rushed. And maybe right now you're in a season where you feel behind. You feel like everyone else is moving quicker. You feel like life is testing your patience. You feel like time is slipping. But destiny is not measured by comparison. Destiny is not timed by the achievements of others. Destiny unfolds uniquely, separately, intentionally for you. You're not late. You're not failing. You're not forgotten. You're simply in the part of the process that doesn't look glamorous but is absolutely necessary. You're in the part where nothing seems to move, but everything is shifting internally. You're in the part where your faith is being stretched because your future requires a stronger version of you. And when destiny calls your name, everything you waited for will finally make sense. You won't feel bitter about the waiting because you'll understand it protected you. You won't feel angry about the delay because you'll see how it positioned you. You won't feel disappointed about the detours because you'll realize they led you to places you wouldn't have reached otherwise. Destiny has a way of revealing why the wait was necessary. It has a way of bringing everything together. Everything you endured, everything you carried, everything you questioned. Destiny transforms delay into meaning. Destiny transforms waiting into wisdom. Destiny transforms the slow seasons into sacred seasons of becoming. The delay is not your enemy. The delay is your shaping. The delay is your affining. The delay is your alignment. The delay is the hand of God rearranging everything so that when your moment arrives, no one will be able to deny that it was meant for you. The delay is carving you into someone who can walk confidently into what's coming. Someone grounded, someone mature, someone ready. And one day, you will look back at this season of waiting and realize that the delay wasn't a pause in your purpose. It was the very place where your destiny was being built.